Is your shot crazy inconsistent in games or out of games? Coach Jesse Minshew with Get Handles. Today I'm going to show you how to fix that problem for good, showing you the 4 main things that keep players' shot from being consistent. First things first, I'm going to give you more of a broad thing that you might know, and then I'm going to give you a very specific thing, and a lot of these other tips are going to be more specific things that you probably haven't thought of before. But the first one is your form. If your form is crazy inconsistent, if sometimes your elbow's out, your elbow's in, your feet are really wide, feet are in close, your shot's probably also going to be very inconsistent. But one of the number one things that I see with players, and I know it causes me issues with inconsistency, is a thumb flick. I'm a lefty shooter, so I have a thumb flick with my right hand from time to time. I've kind of got rid of it, but sometimes it kind of creeps back in. And that thumb flick can push that ball left. If you're not flicking as much the next time, it won't push it left, so you'll maybe shoot more to the right. It'll cause all kinds of problems because of this stupid guide hand thumb flicking the basketball. So what you want to do is really work on changing your mechanics with that guide hand. A lot of players will always work on like one hand form shooting to get the feel for that, and that's all fine and dandy, that'll help. But what that doesn't really work on is teaching your guide hand what it's supposed to be doing, and that doesn't really eliminate that guide hand thumb flick. So a couple different things I personally like to do that I've worked on is one, just focusing on keeping my thumb pinned to my hand when I shoot. I notice Klay Thompson does that a lot when he shoots. He'll have that guide hand thumb pinned to his hand, so you can work on that. One thing that I personally tried is putting the guide hand on front of the basketball, so now I can't flick the thumb forward because it's on front of the ball. Or another thing that you could try, and this is the one I've stuck with more recently that I find works well, is I tap my shooting hand right after I release the basketball and make sure the palm of my hand or my fingers are touching the wrist right after the release. Obviously not before the release because that'll mess up your shot. But I find by doing that, again, keeps my thumb pointing this way, and that keeps it from coming out this way and flicking the basketball. So if I have to do that after every release, boom, I know I'm gonna get a nice good backspin on the basketball, and that thumb flick isn't gonna affect the ball going left or right. If you're finding these tips helpful so far, make sure you smash that like button. Let's try to get this video to 2,000 likes. So I bet you one of the biggest things that's causing your shot to be inconsistent is when you get into game situations. You're not able to deal with defenders. And one of the biggest things you have to do is get into more games, number one, so you can start to figure out how much space you need to get your shot off, how to get your feet properly set for your shot, get your mechanics set up correctly, and also get used to focusing on the rim and not looking at your defender too much. That's one of the big issues that I notice causes a lot of players problems, is they're too focused on their defender, so now they're not completely zeroing their eyes in on the rim. You got to get in the habit of doing that. One other thing that's going to really help you with this issue is to make sure you're working on game speed shooting in your practice. The speed of a game is a much quicker speed, so if you're in a game situation just kind of taking relaxed shots like you do in practice, you probably know that you're not going to get that shot off because it's too slow and the defender's going to block it. Then all of a sudden at the last second you flick that shot up as quick as you can and it gets crazy inconsistent, right? You got to start working on more game speed in your practice, so when game time comes you're used to being full speed for the whole motion and it feels a lot more natural. Now one thing you could do that'll really help with this and all the tips I'm giving you in this video is down below in the description, click the link that says the 7 swish workout. That workout's a shooting workout, but I'll also send you some more secrets and tips to help you get rid of inconsistency with your shot and deal with defenders so you can be more consistent with your shot in game situations. To get that, all you got to do is click that link, pop in your email. It's 100% free, no credit card or anything like that is needed. Okay, next big thing we've got to talk about is your footwork. A lot of players probably have no idea that maybe their footwork is causing inconsistencies with their shot. Number one, not just consistency with how they're placed, but typically just give you some quick tips. I'm a left-handed shooter. If you watch the best NBA shooters, they do this as well. They'll usually have their shooting side foot a little bit more forward, left foot forward for me because I'm a lefty, and toes pointing slightly to the right. If you're a righty, you would just flip everything around, toes pointing to the left, right foot a little bit more forward. But on top of that, I'm talking more like getting used to doing the different footwork patterns. So 1-2 step with right left, and then 1-2 step left right. And if you'll notice, you have to adjust those steps to get those feet in those positions so you have that shooting side foot forward. Then you also want to make sure you're working on the hop, so both feet land on the ground at the same time. If you're not comfortable with doing a lot of those, there's going to be game situations where that's the type of shot you need to get off and you're not used to it, and now that's going to throw everything out of whack. So you got to get practice in all these. I found with myself personally, I had a really hard time transitioning into the hop at first, and I also had a hard time going left right into my shot. I almost always want to do right left, and that's just what was really comfortable for me. Start working on these in practice, and I bet you'll find one of these variations or maybe a couple of them give you a really hard time. You got to put in the practice to get them down, so in game situations when you don't have the space to maybe get a hop or a 1-2 step or whatever the case may be off, you're comfortable going into that other footwork pattern, and you know you'll be consistent with where your feet are placed so you can have that consistent shot. If you're having any problems with your game, leave me a comment down below, let me know what it is, and I'll try to get you a video for it ASAP. The things that I'm getting the most comments are the things I'm bringing you guys videos for. Okay, and finally, this one will also probably show up in games a lot with inconsistencies. If you're not comfortable with shooting off the catch, or you're not comfortable shooting off the dribble. A lot of players are either good with one or the other. Some players aren't good with either, but not many players are good at both. So once again, you want to make sure you're putting in practice on this. Pretty self-explanatory. You're either passing the ball to yourself with some spin to work on doing it off the catch or bouncing it off a wall. And then of course, working on going into your shot off of different dribble moves, going in each direction, both left and right. Again, that's another thing you have to look at too, is if you're comfortable going into your shot, going to the left, going to the right. And that kind of ties back into the footwork tip I gave you in the last section. Make sure you click that subscribe button and get on that notification squad by clicking that little bell icon, because I have multiple videos coming every week and they're all gonna help you improve big time. If you wanna take your shooting next level fast, click this link right here, pop in your email, I'll send you a free shooting workout. Only takes about 10 minutes to do, and it's helped thousands of players improve their shot, and I know it'll help you too. Also, make sure you check out this video and check out this video. You'll probably like those as well. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more, and make moves today.